This week I want to share with you a very cool way to trace license plates to find out who owns the vehicle and a lot more information, and it works sometimes. None of the free out there methods are going to work every time. There are a lot of what I call 1% solutions. If you know one of these, pretty soon you're at that 10% or better part where you can start with just a license plate, open source intelligence, and figure out who it belongs to. This week is one of my favorite ways to do that, but I've always been reluctant to share it with you because it uses websites that are questionable, that I don't really like. The rule of thumb is don't pay any money, don't fall for them. Websites that promise to run a license plate for you for free with no permissible purpose, all those types of things, they're frequently going to give you out-of-date information or generically available information like the engine size of the vehicle, things like that. Or they're going to try to trick you. I say trick you. Some of them will tell you outright into a subscription service, hoping that you miss it for 2 or 3 billing cycles and they can just continue to collect money from you. That's the big precaution on this. Let's start out with tracing a license plate. This case comes out of a license plate that was spotted on a commercial vehicle, but the license plate was not a commercial license plate. So let's just take this as an example and dig in a little bit deeper. I have redacted a lot of stuff because this guy is perfectly fine. He's not a bad guy, nothing like that. A lot of contractors, subcontractors will do this. It's just cheaper to put a regular license plate on a commercial vehicle than to pay the higher commercial fees. I offer no judgment on that whatsoever. Let's use it as a lesson and a case study for how you can do this. You can run license plates whether they're commercial or not. This is the van that was spotted. We take the license plate number from there and you go over to your favorite search engine. Type in search query and license plate or license plate lookup. This is one of those private websites. I told you don't pay anything to them. It's just one of the ones I like to use. The first results that come up are their advertisements. I do not click on those because I'm just using their site. I don't feel it's fair to make sure that they get charged an advertising fee. But I go to the license plate lookup to get directly to the page that I want. Again, there's no endorsement of this site at all. It's just a site I use. I plug in the license plate number, and this is going to give me an idea of if this license plate really belongs on this vehicle. I put in the state, go over and hit search. And this is all theater. This little database being searched, blah, blah, blah. We're checking a secure connection. No, this is just theater for you. And part of what I believe it is to make you get so invested in time trying to do this that you just go, okay, I'll pay you your money. Just give me the information. Up pops the tag, and it does match the vehicle that it was on. So this tells me it likely is the vehicle that it belongs to. Go back to your favorite search engine, type in license plate to VIN, and you're going to use any site that's free. Plug in that license plate number to get a vehicle identification number. Again, there's some with ads. I don't feel it's right to charge them. I have no intention of spending money on them, good, bad, or ugly. I don't know this one at all. This is one I've used. Again, no endorsement. But I enter in the license plate number and the state that it goes to. And what I'm hoping to do here is come back with a vehicle identification number based on that license plate. We're stair-stepping our way to more and more information. Again, all theater here. And I can see that this does match up. And there's my VIN. It is a cargo van. Everything matches perfectly. So I'm going to snag this VIN, copy and paste it. Just copy. Go back to our favorite search engine. You can search just by the VIN, and on some search engines you might get a result. In this case, none of these is right. I get 3 results, similar vehicle, different VINs, nothing helpful. On a rare occasion, a search engine will give you a hit on your VIN. It's kind of a waste of time. I normally don't do it. I just wanted to show you. Now you type in that's them. This is a website. Again, I don't endorse it, but it's pretty darn handy. They call themselves a free people search reverse lookup, that'sthem.com. Let's click on them. That's not a paid thing for them. They're not going to get charged. I come over to the free people search engine. My goodness, isn't free nice? They're such generous people. Let's see how that really turns out. I go over to the VIN because I'm not searching by name or address. I punch in the VIN, just paste it right in and hit search. Searches billions of records, and up comes actually a name and a primary residence. I usually find this information to be dated. They want to run a background search is what they really want you to do. Take a look at what happens. You come over here and now you're talking about membership services, a 3-month membership for $14.95. They're going to bill you $44.85 today and every 3 months until the subscription is canceled. I have never done this with this company. I don't know if it's good, bad, or ugly. I'm not interested in it. If I click on just the name, I can see here that there's things like view the premium report, which shows me a little more than the address. Now, the address gives me more. There's his name and gender. It gives me a date of birth and an address. And it gives me, forgive me, I have to just, there's so much here that I don't want to share that I got to blur it. But, you know, possible other people at this address, some of which are clearly not related to him. But I got a name now. I've got a name and an address. If I go back to my search engine, I'm going to have you punch in your county name and lower court, or your county name and municipal court. You're looking for the court in your county at that lower level that handles traffic citations and other small things. I have a quick abbreviation to get into mine, and this is the one that applies for where we are. And I click the search the records. And I'm going to put in just the last name that came up and first initial, Victor's first initial there, and perform search. Up comes, this is a bunch of cases involving people with that last name and the first letter initial. This guy here at the bottom, the date of birth matches. I can see him also here kind of in the middle with the same date of birth with 3 different traffic violations. TRD is the traffic. I could sort by case number, but I'm going to actually sort by name. That allows me to put his 3 traffic offenses all together nice and neat there. Let's take a look real quickly at the, not the 2001 necessarily. Let's look at the most recent 2015 traffic violation. Come over here to defendant information. I have the name, the address matches, the date of birth matches. And we have an old plate number, which is kind of interesting. If we go down to the 2014 traffic violation, with defendant information, again, all matching, but the plate number is a match to what we saw. There is also a primary and secondary street that the citation was issued to, and the citation was for just seatbelt. There's no big traffic violations for this guy. If I go back and cut and paste the address into mapping software, drag the little yellow guy down, drop him in front of the address, and boom, I can see the address matches based on the curb stencil. I can see in the driveway is a contractor type truck. Now, that could belong to him. If I go and click that view more dates though, I can go back now to July of 2021, see what's there. And this is kind of a helpful thing to go back through time and check place after place. It's the same place over time. See if there's any other clues. This minivan has shown up for a couple in a row now. And again, this is just a historical record. But I want to show you something in particular. If I go back to the most recent one, September 2022, over on the side here next to the house is a full-size white pickup truck. If we go around the corner, take a little bit closer look at it, you can see in the windshield is a Ukrainian flag, which is kind of an interesting detail. Also, if you go through historically, I can see very clearly the truck that's there with the contractor information. I could look that up online. If I go back in time looking from the side street, I get different photos. In this case, a young person or a man cutting the lawn. And I just want to point this out. Anytime you have access to a corner property, Look at it from both the front and the side because you get different historical data. Even if the vehicle was driving around within the same hour or so, you can see different things going to back in time. Now, remember this truck and the Ukrainian flag. You may remember that our original van had that Ukrainian flag right up there in the center. All of these clues give me the indication that this is probably the right address, probably the right name. And now I know a little bit of history on this guy. Seeing nothing significant come up criminal in the lower court, felonies is not something we check. But over many years, just a few petty traffic violations, that's interesting. All the information we got can be fleshed out with all sorts of other public records. I do have the public records mini course over at shadowanyone.com that goes very much into depth on what you can do with this information. So we could run that property through the county property records site, find out more information about this person, how long he's lived there, the amount that they paid for the house, all sorts of information. We can run it through other databases to find other people that live at that house or have used that address previously. Just a wealth of information is opened up if you can turn around a license plate. And the method that I taught you here today is one that's interesting. Now, what I want you to really consider this is as an OSINT exercise, open source intelligence, just a almost practice, because you're not always going to get great results like this. Sometimes you'll get hits that are old information on the person. The That's Them website frequently gives you old information, somebody who previously owned the vehicle. So please keep that in mind when you run these traces, that you have to do multiple verifications that you've got the right owner of that vehicle. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. In the meantime, this is Larry Kaye with shadowanyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.